What's up, guys? Let's watch a video on how to uncouple and couple rail cars with a guy named Dusty from TSS, which is Terminal Switching Services. And I'm just going to elaborate. Maybe a lot of you guys haven't seen it, but if you're new and you're looking to work in the railroad and you're going to be doing this, so this video can actually help a lot. He does a really great job. Let's get started.
Terminal Switching Services. Today I'm here to talk to you about how to properly couple and uncouple rail cars. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to properly lace up air hoses, how to open up an angle cock, and also how to adjust the coupler in case it's out of alignment. So pay attention and follow along with me as I show you the correct way to do these things.
So in the first section of this video, we're going to talk about coupling equipment. After counting the cars down to a coupling, the very next step is to have the engineer change direction and stretch the coupling to ensure that the coupling has been made.
That's right. Stretch is very important because if you don't, a lot of times what will happen, the other knuckle or one of the knuckles didn't lock. And you'll lace your air hoses, you'll cut your air in, and as soon as the engineer makes a forward movement, the knuckles just open back up and then shoot the train. So stretching is, I used to do it on every couple, just about every single couple.
All right, now that the coupling's been made, my next step is to get red zone protection before I step in between.
Before you step, I think CSX uses red zone.
Step in between the equipment. All right, when lacing air hoses, I always want to keep 1 foot inside the rail and 1 foot outside the rail. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is that it puts my body in a much more comfortable position to lace up the air hoses. But the second reason, and more importantly, is that it gives me escapability out from in between the equipment in case these cars start to move. Because I'm able to escape a lot quicker with just stepping over with 1 foot as compared to 2 feet. All right, now that my feet are properly placed, my next step is to lace up the air hoses. Now there are a few different ways you can lace up the air hoses. The most important thing is to find the one that you're most comfortable with and sticking to it.
Yep, that's true. I don't know why I have not watched this video before. I've seen it, I've watched it on live stream before, but this, he does it right. I always talk about kink your hose. You kink it, and this part of the glad hand will slide in this groove right here, but you have to pull it all the way up. If you watch him very closely, you see he pulls it all the way up to where it slides in, then it just literally falls into place.
Next step is to open up the angle cock. Now before I open up the angle cock, I want to put my body in the proper position. I can either have my leg up against the air hose or have both my feet outside of the rail. And the reason for this is you want to be clear of the air hose or have your leg up against the air hose in case it flies apart. You're not putting your body in harm's way.
Funny story. This is a great point. I've actually never even mentioned it before, but sometimes those air hoses, if you didn't get a good connection on your glad hands when you actually laced them, and you cut that air in, they will bust apart. And I've had them bust apart, even with my leg up against the hose. That hose bust apart, and it wrapped around my leg and slapped me in the back of my leg, and it left a nasty bruise. So, and we had a guy where I used to work. He tried to take hoses apart with air on them. Don't ever do that. He took it apart and it hit him in his face.
In harm's way. All right, when opening up the angle cock, you want to open it up extremely slow.
Yes.
Quickly, you're going to dump the air in the cars in front of you because they think they're going into emergency, which in turn causes the engineer to have to reset the air brake system, which can add quite a few crucial minutes to your move. In some situations where you have both angle cocks closed after the coupling's been made, at no point should you try to reach over the coupler to open up the angle cock on the other side. What you'll have to do is cross over the equipment, get on the ground, and open from that side.
That's wrong. That might be a TSS policy, but that's not right. You can reach over. I think the rule now is you can reach over the coupler or the drawbar, whatever you want to call it. You can reach over the coupler or drawbar and actually cut the angle cock in as long as you're not touching that coupler with any of your skin. I think the reason behind all this is somebody reached over and got their arm caught right here in between the drawbar, and I forgot exactly what this is called, but that right there don't give, but that drawbar does, and I'm sure it pinched their arm and broke it, or pinched it off, who knows. Just be very aware, though, that cars do shift when you're cutting air in, so do not put your limbs, anything right here, in between the drawbar and the back. I'm just going to call it the backstop of this part right here, because it's solid.
That side. All right, now that I'm done lacing up the air hoses and opening up the angle cock, I can release my red zone and continue on with my switching operation.
Now in the second section, we're going to talk about uncoupling equipment.
first ask for red zone protection to go in between the equipment. Once I've established red zone protection, I'm then going to reach in here and close the angle cock to the supply end of the rail car. I'm going to lift up on this cut lever or pin lifter to make the uncoupling.
Now I want to stress just how important it is that every time the cars are being uncoupled,
Look away.
face away from the air hoses that are being separated.
I'm going to talk to you about how to properly adjust the coupler. Now before I step in between the tracks to make the adjustments, I'm going to first separate the equipment by at least 100 feet and then zone protection
3-step.
stepping in the tracks. Now once I have those two things done, I can now begin the process of adjusting the coupler. All right, now the proper way to adjust the coupler is to put your hands underneath the coupler with your feet on the ground and your knees bent. Then you want to push up with your legs and then bump back on the coupler.
Right. Not as hard as you think.
I have the coupler properly aligned. I can remove myself between the tracks, release the red zone, and then begin my coupling operations.
But you shouldn't have to do it too much. The only time you really see that happening or you have to make adjustments is whenever maybe the company has a shuttle mobile or if you're trying to couple in a turn. Now, if you're trying to couple in a turn, you can really get yourself in a pickle pretty quick. But you'll learn about that at school, but just know that's the way to do it. Hoses, yeah, especially when you're disconnecting hoses, look away because they'll sling crap all at you. It definitely rocks if you're around, if you're around the industry that has, one of the industries I used to work used to have these little bitty beads of plastic, and that was millions of them. And sometimes they'd be on the ground from where it came out of the hose. And whenever you disconnect your hoses, it would shoot those little, it's pretty much like little BBs, but they're plastic, and they'd shoot them at you. So I'd always look away. Just be wary of that. Don't look at the hoses whenever you uncouple rail cars. And then coupling comes down to your car counts. Be consistent with your car counts. All right, quick video before I go to work. I was just going to let you, I remember this video, and I think it'd be very beneficial for a lot of people to see it. I will have the original video linked down below if you want to go check it out. Very good for new conductors, very good for, new work conductors that's out there in the field. Maybe you've been doing it, but it's still good. Definitely help a lot of people out before they go to school. So that's the reason why I'm posting this video. Appreciate you guys watching. See you guys in a couple of days. Bye.